Hey y'all, welcome back to part 2 of Chaos and Calm. Let's go ahead and get back to the beauty. So are we surprised that we're back here for part 2? No, I don't think we are, We knew that it was a possibility. So, we're at the flower market now, and what a beautiful place to start off at. If you guys are new here, welcome. I'm Shy in Second Life, and on this channel we check out aesthetically pleasing places in the virtual world of Second Life. And I also sporadically do lifestyle blogs. So if you're interested in content like this, go ahead and subscribe. When I tell y'all, the land, I really wanted to take my time with the land, and I feel like we did a wonderful job of that. We really got to see everything that needed to be seen and really just like bask in the beauty that is this land. So I'm really happy that I didn't feel too overwhelmed showing you guys, and we didn't feel too overwhelmed viewing it. And so now we can come back for part 2 and just look at more beautiful things. So this beautiful outdoor flower market is so wonderful. I love all the colors. I really do like how they did the color contrast on this land. So lots of earthy tones, but then they really let nature be the color. They have like lots of colorful pillows and stuff like that, but the things that I see that have like the most color in my opinion is going to be like the fruit. So they have like the oranges, or then they'll have like vegetables and things like that, like things that come from the land. They allowed that to be things that added color to the space, as opposed to just like having a space full of just like a bunch of different pillows and stuff like that. They really did take their time with that. So it's like you get a nice mix of furniture decor as well as earthly things like flowers and different plants and different like vegetables and fruits and things like that. I love the feel of this land. I love everything about this land. And when I tell y'all, the more I venture around this land, the more I knew that this was the perfect place for us to be, to just come and tour such a lovely land. I am just completely in awe in how they've done this outside area, because they didn't overpower things. It's just a really nice welcoming space that they have created. I love the little kitty cat. We're finding more and more lands that have cats on them. Not mad at that at all, but it's just an observation that I really am. We are seeing more lands that have lots of cats. Not sure what that is about, but we're not mad at it at all, because we love the cats. We absolutely do love the cats. This is another cat. I love this path. This is the apple fall path. It's nice to look at, but if you're using the little parts where you got to snap the stuff in place, they can become a little bit tedious. For me, I would just lay them down. I ain't got time to be snapping nothing in no place, not at all. So this is a beautiful flower market. Now this flower market does definitely give me like springtime vibes, especially with the flowers. They have lots of like tulips and things like that. Really colorful, really pretty. And you know what I find funny? It is very colorful flowers in the summertime, but I do kind of feel like when I see flowers like this, it does give me like springtime vibes. I am seeing a lot of the lands in Second Life move into more transitional spaces, because the summertime is coming up now. Of course, when you are in different states and stuff like that, different countries, summertimes are going to look different for everybody. But I do kind of feel like Second Life does kind of go with more of like a US based seasonal approach, and I do enjoy that, being somebody that's from the US. I benefit from that, of course. And so now I know that we're going to get into lots of like beautiful summer lands and stuff like that, which I do feel like is the majority of the lands. That's the majority of like the seasons in Second Life. Even when it's like the winter time, like the winter months, you'll still come across quite a few lands that still have like summertime vibes and stuff like that, especially like the spaces that you live on. Like my land is summer all the time. Now of course you can change the seasons and stuff like that, but they never put snow down and stuff like that. Like it's a tropical land. And so I do like that when it is the summertime in Second Life, it's kind of like neutral all the way across the board. Because like every place you go, it's gonna have a nice like little heated summery type vibe to it, but I do like that they are having like nice transitional lands at this point in time, because things are definitely switching over from spring to summer. But it's like some of the creators they're trying to get like their last little spring themed lands out the way before things like transition completely into summer. And so I really do like seeing these lands that are really like colorful and like full of flowers and lots of outdoorsy type spaces. Now for me, when it comes to touring lands in Second Life, I do like the lands that are more outside lands. You know, I do like lands that have decorated houses in them. Not decorated houses in them, but decorated houses on the lands or on them, because it does give me a different type of feel. It lets you know like the time period of the land and things like that. For me, that's what I get from it, and it's always just like a nice accent to like outside spaces and stuff like that. So I do like that. But when it's lands that are just like the places that you're going to see is like a decorated home, it kind of depends on it. A lot of times they'll have like homes where, like we went to like that manor where all the vast majority of the decorated spaces were indoors, beautiful decorated halls and decorated rooms and bedrooms and things like that. But they still have spaces where you can kind of transition to the different homes via outside. I want to look and see what's over here first. It look a little low. It look a little low, so we can see, I think this door is higher. And so I do like that, where even when you have a land where the tour is actually going to be of the inside of a house, they still will decorate the outside grounds where it is very aesthetically pleasing. So you kind of get like the best of both worlds. But for me, if I had to choose a favorite, it is going to be like the outside lands, where lands like this, where the majority of the decorated spaces that you're going to be viewing they're going to be outside, and then they will have like sprinkled indoor spaces like this decorated home and stuff like that. Pre-decorated homes for me, I just feel like, you know, they do it for me every time, because I do kind of feel like when you are touring an outside land, having a space that you can kind of walk into, it does break up the monotony of just like being outside and just continuously looking at spaces that are outside. I definitely do feel like it does do a nice job of breaking up the space. They have some stuff outside that we're going to look at really quickly. So having lands like this where it does transition from like the outside to the inside, I really do like that. I also like the fact that we have come across, now, I don't know if it's just the time in Second Life, but there was once upon a time where we would see a lot of lands that they were not as cohesive as I felt like they should have been. Sometimes in the past, they have kind of lost the plot when it came to the lands. And although the lands have been very beautiful, I kind of felt like, okay, well, you know, we're just gonna pan out here. I'm like, okay, you know, y'all really kind of, you know, you kind of missed the mark a little bit. Still beautiful, still appreciate the space, still appreciate y'all even having a space for us to view. But it does really take you out of the essence of the land when the cohesiveness kind of falls short, you know. So it's like we're in this space, and so it's like if we were in this space, we're in this space, and then we come across a part that's like really, really modern, or like a skyscraper building or something like that, but they didn't really have like a nice transition or a meaningful transition to the space. It kind of does make you lose the plot of the land, and I do feel like that kind of takes you out of the space. Well, for me at least. When we tour these lands, I do feel like it's very important for us to be able to just like stay in the mood of the land, or stay in the mode of the land, where it's like, if it's, oh, I like this little sauna, if it is a country type vibe, have it be country throughout, or if it's like a modern type vibe, let it be modern throughout. I do feel like it's important for us to be able to just like stay in the vibe, or stay in the feel of the land. It really does take you out of the space when they kind of transition. It's like a harsh type transition, even if it's going from like seaside to like spacey. It does make a difference like how the creators or the landscapers decide to like transition into those different spaces. I love that they have so many different elevations and so many different spaces here. Real cute, real cute. I don't know what this is, but we're definitely going to look into it. It's like another little beautiful greenhouse space. Now, y'all know I have talked about this space many times. I've seen like greenhouses like this, and the spaces that I've seen, they never take the time to decorate these spaces. They really kind of leave it like very, very open, almost just like a transitional space to be in. And I really love when they take the time to decorate the space, because it is a very big open space. I do feel like you have to do quite a bit to kind of fill this space up, but they've done an awesome job because the land is very just like spring type summer / vibes. So they have like a lot of plants and trees in this area to just kind of bring in all the outside space into the inside, and I do like that. This is like so beautiful. It reminds me of the flower market, but it's just different. It has like a nice, has like a nice like chill tea time type vibe. Not so much a cafe, but it's more just like a place where you can just come and chill and be around nature while you're on the inside. It's like bringing the nature indoors, and you can still experience it and still enjoy it, but in the space of being someplace enclosed. And I really do like that because they have like this really cute, just like quaint little sitting space for two. And you can just kind of like sit here and chill, vibe out. You don't have to be outside. It's just like another element, you know, to the outside space, but it's indoors, and I really do like this. They decorated this greenhouse oh so well, oh so absolutely well. When I tell y'all, this was someplace that I was really wanting to see, but again, when I panned out, I saw the size of the land, and when I tell you, I'm never going to view a land that I feel is gonna be a large land. I'm never gonna view that land when I'm not in the mood to view a land that long. I want us to be able to get the most out of all of these lands. So when we go to these spaces, I always make sure that it's like, okay, yeah, we're ready to roam around and really be able to see like all that these lands have to offer, as opposed to us kind of be like, I don't really feel like it right now, you know. And I feel like it makes it where you don't really get to enjoy the space as much as you should be enjoying the space, because it's like we weren't really in the mood to walk around a big land anyway. I really love how they have all of every time I think that the elevations are done, it's like it's another elevation, and I really do love that. They really took their time with this land, and I'm so glad that they're doing something here, just like a concert and stuff like that, so that you can really be able to like enjoy the space even more in many different ways, bringing like a more modern aspect to this land that does have a bit of a dated feel to it, but it's almost just like a untouched or untapped area. It's like it's like an outdoor springtime forest type vibe, and so it's just like to bring like a concert here where it just makes it feel like it's an untapped space, but then you can kind of still bring like that modern essence to it. I feel like it's so beautiful. Look how pretty this is. I love how they have like a lot of transitional arches and caves that you can go to. Lots of cute little romantic sitting spaces. It's so pretty here. Like when I tell you, I just feel like over time, the creators and the landscapers in Second Life, they have just completely continued to become better and better and better with their outlooks and with the spaces that they've made, as far as like how creative they are with the spaces and how they envision the spaces before they even decide to start working on them. It's just like, it's always such a beautiful delight. It's always such a beautiful delight. And every time I think that I kind of know what the land is going to be or what the land is going to encompass, I'm always pleasantly surprised that that's not completely what it is. And I feel like that's a marvelous thing, because it gives you the feel of like, I'm so glad that I came around this. I'm so glad that I came to this land and really just explored all that this land had to offer, because it's like, what if I didn't? What if I didn't take that turn? And what if I didn't go look a little farther and find out that they have like a cave, or this is like a really super secret space? You don't see these spaces when you pan out. I didn't. you know. And so I really love that, to be able to just kind of like come across spaces like this. Is there something in here that we could look at? To be able to just, yep, to be able to just like come across spaces like this that are just so special, and they're so hidden, and it's just like you really have to venture around to find these spaces. I love when they have lands where, even if it's like a land that doesn't seem that large, when they do different elevations, it does give you the opportunity to be able to like space the places out. What is this? Red's Day. Oh, they must have like a party here. It gives you the opportunity to have like, the spaces will be, the areas are spaced out, and so you don't have that feel like you're on top of one another. And there are some lands where the lands are smaller lands, and then they have things that are like really, really tight together. And although I don't have an issue with that at all, I do notice that when the lands are smaller, but they have like different elevations and things like that, it does give you a different sense. It does give a different vibe of just things kind of not being so tight, so enclosed in, but more open. And then I feel like also it gives people the feeling of like, okay, well, I can come to this land and I don't have to worry about like being in a space like this and people walking in on me if, you know, I'm sitting here and I want to take a picture or something like that. Or it's like people might walk in, but it won't be like a bunch of people walking in, because, you know, you really have to like explore to actually like see this space or to find this space. I know, right there, doggy's like, it's so beautiful. I know this. I know the space is wonderful at night. It was actually something else. I want to look at the other side. So I really do like that. I'm just like, y'all just getting just take me away every time. Every time. I actually love it. I really, really love it. So this is one of those lands where I knew when I panned out that it was going to be quite a large land. So I'm not surprised at all of the different spaces that they have, but I am surprised at the way that they're landscaped and decorated. I'm also pleasantly surprised at how things have been are able to be transitioned. I love that. I love a good transition. I love a good, bet you didn't think we were going to do this type of space. I really do love this, because look at this. Look how pretty this is. It's very enclosed. And it's also one of those things where it's like you would not know how to get here, because it's no stairs. There's no like straightforward way to get to this space. You really have to explore to get to this space. And I really, really love that. It seems like every time we view a land, the lands become just like more and more remarkable. And I love that for us. I really do. Oh, look how pretty this is. This is so pretty. And you know what? When I see spaces like this, I'm always just like, wow. You guys really, really took y'all time with this. I absolutely love when we come across spaces like this where it's just like little secret caves. I love a secret space, you know. We love a good secret cave. We love a good like, oh, you really have to search and find this. I love how they have just these beautiful archways and beautiful like secret caves that open up to such beautiful, blissful spaces and places like this. The seating areas are very ample here, and I really do love that. This is a land that I really hope is not going anywhere anytime. So this land probably has been around for a very long time. I do not know. Y'all, I just started even looking at the about on the land and kind of see what's going on, because I'm always just fearful of going into spaces that we're not supposed to be in. I really always want to be respectful of the creators of the land, especially when they have residences on the land. I love how windy everything is, and how it's just like every time you think that you're not going to see a different space, where you might think that you're coming across a space that you've seen before, they'll always surprise you and it'll be something different. Now, we have seen this house many times. Every time, and I'm going to continue to say this, every time we come across one of these houses, it's always decorated differently. And I really do love that. I think the last time that we came across a land like this, it was a kitchen in the space across from this space, and now we had a little glimpse into something completely different. So I'm really excited to like explore this space and to really just like see what's going on. So they had like a whole kitchen here, and it was just like really nice. And so now they have the kitchen like in a different space. It's so different. And this is like one of the things that I love about open spaces, is that it definitely gives the creators in Second Life the opportunity to really just be as creative as they want to be, because it's like, it's very much so a blank canvas. It's just a big open space that you can really make into whatever you want to make it into, however you want to make it. And I really, really love that. This space is so pretty. I love the color concepts. I love that they went with like more darker tones, but then the actual accessories are like lighter tones. So it's like the wood is dark, the floor is dark, the little bookshelves are dark and things like that. The tables are dark, but the pieces that they have on the tables have lighter tones to them. Like the place settings are lighter, the candles are lighter, the flowers are lighter, you know? So it's like the base colors are darker, but then the accented pieces really gives it a really, really nice pop of color, and adds just such a different feel and a different vibe to the space, because it takes you kind of out of that darker space. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? There are some lighted aspects to this space. I really, really like this. When I tell you, I love a small kitchen. I do love a small kitchen. I feel like it's easy to take up a big space with a kitchen because you can make a kitchen as big as you want it to, and it's always going to make sense. I don't think that there'll ever be a time where I'll see a kitchen that's like, why is this all of this a kitchen? I feel like with kitchens, you know, you really can go pretty vast with a kitchen, and it's always going to make sense. But I also like a smaller kitchen to kind of just like be like, okay, it's a kitchen here, but look at everything else. So I really do like that aspect. Now, there have been a couple of times where we have seen this land and they actually have made it a bedroom, but it's okay. One of the times we went and we saw this land and this area was the kitchen. This whole space was the kitchen, and it was still beautiful, of course. I don't think that there's a bad way to decorate, especially in Second Life. I just don't think that there is. I really like seeing how everyone's minds work when it comes to that. Like, I might not have thought to make this space like a little angled memory area, like with the portraits and things like that. I wouldn't have necessarily thought to do that on my own, but when you see stuff like this, it's like it gives you ideas for when you decorate your own space, and it's like, okay, well, I could do something like that because I saw that on the land and I did like that, you know. So it gives you a lot of different inspiration. And I really do like that in Second Life, that you can go to these spaces that are decorated and you can get inspiration from them and see like, okay, they've added different elements and they've added different things to this space to make it different. Where it's like, okay, it might be something where it's like, okay, I have this headboard, but these little wooden pieces with the lanterns on it, I have those, but I didn't think to put those in those spaces. And so it's like, okay, well, I can do that. I can do that to my bed, or I can actually add a headboard to my bed, because there are a lot of times where you'll have a bed, but you won't necessarily, the bed won't come with a headboard. And so you won't really think to add a headboard or take the headboard that they have on it and put a different headboard on it. You know, sometimes you just don't have that eye for design when it comes to certain spaces. But then when you come across spaces like this where it's like, okay, I see a bed and the bed does have a headboard, it's like, okay, well, you know, I want to explore that. And so there will come a time where you will see a bed, or you'll have a bed and it doesn't have a headboard, or the headboard is not something that you like, or, you know, you might want to detach the headboard. And so that gives you a different idea of like, okay, well, I can do my own headboard. I can make something else and have it. I can make something else into a headboard that maybe wasn't meant to be a headboard, but I can do that because I can be creative like that in Second Life. That's the beauty of Second Life. There's so many different wonderful ways that you can express yourself creatively in Second Life. And I really love that when we go to these lands, it does give me a lot of inspiration. I hope it gives you guys inspiration as well. It's like the different things that you can do and ways that you can decorate, or just ways that you can explore spaces that you might not have known that you would have enjoyed before. Because, you know, the creators and the landscapers in Second Life, they really get your brain to going. And that's one of the most wonderful things that I love about being able to tour these spaces in Second Life.